Oh my god. Toski! That's so sweet of you! Thank you so much for gifting Jason a sub. Hey, Jason.
Hello. Hello.
We were gifted a sub.
Thank you.
Hold up. Okay, say something really quick.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Bicycles.
Bicycles.
Just a random word.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think, we can hear you. And I guess, I forgot to open up my 17 lands.
Yeah, so is this going to work like, are you going to be sharing the 17 lands, like screen sharing the 17 lands to Discord? Should I open the stream and look at it there?
Oh, great question. I forgot how we did it last time, but I think it'll be easier if I just share it on screen with you, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I can like open up Twitch chat in case there's anything interesting in Twitch chat. Great, I can see it.
Why is it sharing the wrong one? I think it was this one. Yeah. You can see it?
Yes, I can see your screen. I can see this pack one pick one with a very obvious one of the best cards in the set pick.
So unfortunately I think this one went, yeah, it went 0-3. It was really sad times.
Yeah, so I took a look at this draft, this log beforehand because you showed it. You sent the link to me. Oh, this screen share is dead.
Okay. Is it back?
It's probably okay. There we go. Yes, it's back. I just had to click on something. But yeah. So yeah, I have a couple things to like. I already looked at this log beforehand because you sent it to me earlier. So I have a couple things that I have prepared to like talk about here.
Sure.
I don't know if you want to like still go through pick by pick or whether you want me to like direct to like where I think like the more interesting picks are.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so obviously like this pack one pick one is like pretty straightforward, right? And I guess the main thing I want to talk about is like the concept of how, like what you should do when you take a very powerful like single color card pack one pick one, right? Like in this case, Elegy Acolyte, right? So like when you take a card like Elegy Acolyte pack one pick one, obviously it's draft. Many things could happen. You might not end up playing it, right? You shouldn't like. There's the common adage of like don't get married to your first pick or whatever, right? Like you shouldn't take the fact that you've taken Elegy Acolyte pack one pick one as meaning that you are going to be forcing black, right? If you see no black cards for the rest of the draft, obviously it's going to be hard to play Elegy Acolyte. When it's a card that's as powerful as Elegy Acolyte, it should still bias you a lot towards wanting to be black. And there's ways to there are ways to follow this bias and take advantage of this strong single color card that you have that don't that don't exactly hard force the card, but still make it more likely that you are able to play a deck with this card that is strong, I guess.
Okay.
And specifically the thing that I like doing a lot when I pick a strong card like this is to actively try to like spend pack 1 like whenever you see like multiple cards that are like, you know, roughly similar power level, right? So if you go to the next pick, I forget if it's pack 1 pick 2 or pack 1 pick 3. No, so this one is pretty obvious. Dauntless Scrap Bot is like one of the best cards in the pack, and also it's colorless. That's really nice. But if you go to pack 1 pick 3, yeah, this one. So when you see a pack with multiple cards that are like similar power levels, like if you already have a card that is providing you with a clear direction, that's how I like to think about it. Like LG Acolyte is giving you a clear direction, saying like, follow me towards black or something, right? Like, you already have something that's telling you, a card that's telling you probably one path that you want to follow in the draft, right? And again, you don't have to be strictly following that, but when you have something like that, you should try to bias towards that path when it doesn't cost you very much, right? So like, for example, here, Plasma Bolt, like Plasma Bolt is a completely fine card, right? It's cheap removal, it's fine. It has some problems where it doesn't, like, there are a lot of creatures in the format that outsize it, and it like can be made irrelevant a little too often for it to be truly premium, but it's still good, right? But there's just like, if you compare it to, for example, like the black card, the best black card in the pack, which is Voidforge Titan. I think Voidforge Titan also has problems. It is a 5-drop in a format with a lot of good expensive cards, and also, you know, it's a little bit clunky. It like there are sometimes where it looks really good, where it's a like card draw engine that's consistently drawing you cards, and there are sometimes it looks really embarrassing, where you like play it for 5 and then you don't draw a card, and like you're kind of forced to trade it off with you, like God forbid your opponent's 4/2, like 3 mana 4/2 in green or something. But yeah, like basically, you know, I'm not saying that Void for Titan is like in a vacuum a better card than Plasma Bolt. In fact, it might even be like slightly worse. Like I might rather take pick one Plasma Bolt than Void for Titan, but I think it's undeniably pretty close.
Yeah.
Like I like if you just like showed me, if you just like showed me this pack one pick one, like I would equally note Void Forge Titan, Plasma Bolt, and like there would be an interesting discussion there. And since they're close, it's good to lean towards the like card that is already like that goes really well in your direction, right? Because it's getting really, and specifically for single color, like for a bomb that's in a single color, getting really deep into the color of your bomb in pack 1 is a very powerful thing that you can do. Because like that's a way to like make it very likely that you're going to play your powerful bomb without giving up that much flexibility. Because, you know, if you're deep into black, well, you're not like forcing a color pair. You still have like, you know, 4 different color pairs that could go with black, right? So like some of the strongest like starts of drafts are like, you know, you just take like a lot of good cards of one single color in pack 1, and then let that like and then in packs 2 and 3, like just figure out like what best to pair with them based on like what other color you see, right? And you shouldn't take a big power level hit, right? Like I don't want to take this Insatiable Skittermot over this Plasma Bolt, right? That's not what I'm suggesting.
Got it.
But yeah. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. How is that different than the concept of like cutting or forcing?
Well, so the thing is,
that's what it sounds like you're sort of suggesting, I suppose.
So okay, when people say like, if you think about like forcing, like the word forcing to me means something that's like To me, forcing means that like if Void Forge Titan weren't in this pack, like if Insatiable Skittermaw was the only black card in this pack and it was up against Plasma Bolt, forcing would be like taking Skittermaw over Plasma Bolt, or Skittermaw is like actually a like substantially worse card than Plasma Bolt,
Got
right? Like Skittermaw is a card that like you often don't really want to put in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Like a 23rd card, whereas Plasma Bolt is completely fine. It like is a like role player in various decks, right? So forcing to me is I'm not describing forcing because I'm not saying you should just always take the black card no matter what. I'm saying that like the fact that you have this black rare pack one pick one should make you like default towards taking black cards. Like
Yeah.
There's some middle ground here, right? Like you're not literally like blinders on, I'm definitely going to be black, and like I'm definitely not going to be any other colors. Obviously you're probably not going to be mono black, right? But so like you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
But like there's tangible benefit to taking more flexible cards, right? Like basically how you can, okay, another way to think about it is when you're picking a card, you should not only think about like how powerful the card is, right? Like, you can imagine like assigning each card a number that like as if you're building a tier list. I'm not a huge fan of tier lists, but like, that's one way to think about it. You shouldn't just think about that, right? You shouldn't just think about the strength of the card. You should also think about how likely it is to make your deck, right? As an example, right? Like in pack 3, if you're in black red, you pretty obviously are not going to take a blue-white bomb, right? Like even if it's like a really, really strong card, even if it's like best card in the set, there's just no way in pack 3 if you're like solidly in a 2-color black-red deck, there's no way that you're going to be able to cast a like blue-white deck. There's no way that card's making it into your deck, right? And that's like the most extreme example of that, where like, yeah, obviously in that case you're taking into account like how likely the card is to make your deck. But like even here in pack 1 pick 3, you can like make some educated guesses, right? Like obviously again, you're not 100% to end up in black, but maybe you're like 80 or 90% to end up in black. Whereas like if you like this Plasma Bolt, right, maybe you're only like there's 4 other colors other than black. Maybe you're equally likely to end up in each of the like color pairs and like colors that aren't black. So it's like 25% to be in red compared to like 80 to 90% to be in black, right? That like favors the Void Forge Titan a lot more, right? Because like there's just a higher chance that the power of Void Forge Titan is going to be realized. There's a higher chance that it's going to make your deck. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. The final thing I want to mention about this pick is that actually I think that the pick is like, I think the Void Forge Titan thing versus Plasma Bolt thing is a very good example, but I think that the actual pick is Survey Mechan because I think it's both the best card and the most flexible card in the pack by a mile.
We just spent like 14 minutes on this. And after all of that, you're just like, well, anyways, you should have picked this.
Well, yeah, like, okay. So the thing is, like, this is a concept I want to talk about with like many different picks in this draft, right? And like, this is just the first pick where there is an example of this kind of like, you could have taken a card that was a black card instead of a not black card, or like a card that's more aligned with your direction instead of a card that is less aligned with your direction. And you chose the one that was less aligned with your direction, and like you just like it like threw away some portion of a pick, right? Like I think in your final deck you ended up in blue black and you did not play this Plasma Bolt, right? And that's like a fail case of this pick, because like there's a higher chance that that's going to happen with Plasma Bolt than Void Force Titan. But yeah, I would highly recommend taking the card Survey Mechan higher. It is like honestly kind of good in 2-color decks even, though you probably want a little bit of help for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this is an example of a pick where like Cryogen Relic is like so much stronger than like Scrounge for Eternity or Comet Crawler, right?
Yeah.
So like yeah, you should take Cryogen Relic here. Like literal best common in the set, like mythic level on mythic level common, you know.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I'm proud of myself. Now this one.
Yeah, and this is another example of a pick where like okay, especially since you've already spread yourself thin, right? Because you took Plasma Bolt, like okay, the thing is, right? Plasma Bolt is not a strong enough card to like have made the pick that you did when you made it, right? Like Plasma Bolt is not a strong enough card that you feel happy that you have 3 cards of 3 different colors, right? Like by following up Plasma Bolt with Cryogen Relic, like it suddenly like it kind of looks like you're just going to be blue black and ignore the Plasma Bolt, right? So like in some sense that's part of the problem, right? That with taking Plasma Bolt. And similarly here, Night Luminary is a great card. I think it's like definitely stronger than Plasma Bolt as a card, right? But again, it kind of just doesn't compete with Cryogen Relic or Elegy Acolyte very well. And there's a card in this pack that's completely fine. And I think that card is Nutrient Block. I think Nutrient Block is a completely fine card that is like glue that goes in a lot of decks. And like especially when you already have 3 cards of different colors, I don't want to take a card of a 4th color. Like it would be one thing if the card of a 4th color was like, I don't know, All Fate Stalker, right? Like a like really strong uncommon. But when it's just like good, like strong, but not like Cryogen Relic level common, I don't think it's worth like taking a 4th color of card.
Then what do you think I should have picked?
The Nutrient Block.
Oh. Just wait, is it? I guess I don't understand why.
Because it's colorless and it goes in like a lot of decks and like it's completely fine. It
is?
I think that Nutrient Block is a completely fine card that like often will do something in your deck, and like I will often play it when I have it. Like it triggers Void, it triggers double spell, it like helps with double spell stuff. It's an artifact, which some things care about. Some things care about sacrificing artifacts. It's a good artifact to sacrifice, etc. Right?
Okay.
So yeah, like basically, like this basically what I'm trying to the thing I'm trying to get at here is this situation here where we have 4 cards of 4 different colors and all of them are like decently strong, but two of them are like notably stronger than the other 2, and the other 2 like can't really carry a deck by themselves. Right, like Night Luminary and Plasma Bolt, right? If you just saw like more random okay red and white commons, the fact that you have a Night Luminary or a Plasma Bolt shouldn't really be a big draw to you taking those commons, right? Like because like you can build a deck of a bunch of like cards of the commons of the power level of Night Luminary, but it's not going to do very well, I think, right? Like or at least the ceiling is not very high.
So I was thinking that like I didn't necessarily want any of these things, but I saw that there was a pretty good like card. Out of all of these, I thought this was the best card, right? Especially for what it does. And I took it just because like, hey, maybe I just end up dropping all the colors, like either blue or red, and I go black white instead. So like it's almost like a spec pick.
Well, so yeah, so the thing is that kind of pick is good to do, but only when you don't have a like safer pick that like realizes like a similar amount of power, right? Like I just think that Night Luminary is definitely a better card than Nutrient Block, but Nutrient Block is like also a good card, and like honestly synergizes with the card. Like if you end up playing Cryogen Relic and Elegy Acolyte, chances are that you will want a nutrient block because chances are you'll be doing some amount of sacrifice stuff because it works well with Cryogen Relic as well, and the nutrient block also helps trigger Void for Elegy Acolyte. There's just like enough synergies that the nutrient block just like looks like it'll be
Okay.
pretty decent in your deck, right?
Okay.
And like the spec pick is fine, right? Like yes, there is it's not like there's no value in taking Night Luminary. I'm not saying that there's no world where you end up in white. I just think that like in the world where you end up in white, you can play the nutrient block too. Like the point is that again, I want to hammer home this thing about like it's not just about what the most powerful card is in the pack. It's like you need to pick the card that is like the product, the highest product of power and likelihood to make your deck, right?
Okay. Give me 1 second. Apparently people can't hear me. Noted though.
Testing,
They
audio.
they can hear you, but they can't really hear me.
Uh-huh.
So I think I need to go back to filters and put up the gain so they can hear me better.
I'm really bad at audio stuff.
No, it's okay. This should totally be my responsibility, but it's just like everything is fine until I start like including another sound measure for some reason. It just my mic starts picking up everything, so they probably hear an echo from you.
I see. Chat says we're good now? Question mark.
Yeah,
Great.
for me, for them to hear me, but I can tell my mic is still picking you up on my OBS. And I hate that. Because it shouldn't be doing that. It's also because I'm fucking deaf. So I have to like raise the speaker volume so I can hear you. But then it picks up on the mic.
Yeah, I see.
And then if I lower
That's
it enough
tough.
so the mic doesn't pick you up, then I can't hear you. So I guess it's headphone times.
Let me know when things are fixed.
Let me. Hello? Hello?
Test. I can hear you.
Yay. Okay. All right. You're no longer being picked up by the mic, I think.
Great. Shall we continue?
Yes. Sorry about that. I appreciate it. But yeah, I get it.
No worries.
I think that, yeah, you're just trying to like hammer home that I should be picking things that are more flexible towards something like this instead of just generally flexible.
Yeah, I will say this is definitely more of an art than a science, right? I don't have like a very like hard cutoff line or a metric or anything for like at what point a card is like card A is enough better than card B such that you should take card A even though card B is more in your colors, right? Like I don't have a great metric for like exactly when speculating is good rather than like building on what you already have. But like I do think that in this case, when you already have like you already have 3 cards of different colors, taking a fourth card of a different color is like inherently pretty costly because like it's just so unlikely that you're going to play like it's so likely that you're going to not play 2 of the cards that you've picked, and that's a cost.
Okay, I see what you mean. Because I thought that I have 36 picks. Because we have at the end of it, for the most part, you end up with like more cards to cut. They're not enough playables. So in my head, it's always like, oh yeah, if I pick one, if I don't put it in, it's okay because that happens anyways. But I totally understand that you're trying to optimize.
So okay, the thing is like, yes, there are a lot of picks in a draft, right? Like, you do have, isn't it like 39 picks technically? Like, there are 14 card packs, but there's a basic land, so it's like 13 card packs times 3, so 39, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
forget the last two picks exist.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, yes, technically you get 39 cards, or 42 with 3 of them being basics. But like the last few picks are often like pretty bad, and like, so if you shave off the last 3 picks of every draft, that's like you only get 30 cards, so you only have wiggle room for like 7 cards, and that's like not that much wiggle room, right? Like, especially with, yeah, has especially been true since play boosters have been a thing, and especially with especially in sets where the basic slot is just a basic land instead of a dual land, right? Like, it feels a little better in the sets where the land slot has dual land, so like, sometimes you are getting a like card as your 14th pick. But yeah, like,
We can move
yeah,
on.
yes, you have some room to maneuver, but you don't actually have that much room. And I think just like looking at your final deck, you have a lot of cards in your final deck that I like. I can tell that your final deck is like a little bit like short on playables, right? Or not short on literal playables, but like you have like 3 different 23rd cards basically, right? Like a bunch of cards that are not like not completely up to stuff. I'm looking at like Ilvoy Galeblade, Beamsaw Prospector, Insatiable Skittermaw. I'm not a huge fan of any of those cards. Like, I think the Prospector is like kind of fine, except like you're not really splashing, so it's like a little awkward.
Okay.
Like,
So
I ideally you would have like just like higher quality cards in general. And like giving up some of these early picks is a way for cards that won't make your final deck does hurt, right?
okay, so you think maybe that a nutrient block would have been better than this?
Oh yeah, I definitely think that nutrient block would be better than Galeblade.
Oh, okay.
For example, it like works with Embrace Oblivion. And like it's also just that, like, okay, speculation is good, but you should only speculate on things that are like actually that strong, right? Like, I don't want to speculate on solid common level cards, right? Like Plasma Bolt, Night Luminary both fall into
hold
this.
Okay. Hold up. 34 minutes. Don't speculate on solid commons, you said?
Yeah, don't speculate on things that are like merely like solid commons, right?
Nearly solid.
Like, you want it to be.
I'm
you want it to be
only
a card
asking you to repeat yourself because I didn't hear you, not because you need to re-explain it. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did say nearly solid commons, right?
Merely, like
merely.
MER.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I actually
Like,
hear you.
speculation is much better when you're speculating on like a strong uncommon or like one of the top commons in the set, right? Like, or like actively strong removal. Whereas like it's possible I'm like underrating Night Luminary a bit here when saying this, but also, to be fair, I think it's like the speculation on Night Luminary is worse because you've already taken a speculation pick. Like, successive speculative picks in different directions also get like more costly, right? Like, if you take a Plasma Bolt and the Night Luminary is going to be more costly because it's the second card that you've done.
No,
and like it doesn't.
Don't point out my flaws. I was just shopping. No, I'm joking. But thank you. You make a good point that I'm making like too many successive speculative picks to my detriment. Because I only have so many. Okay.
And like, not to, I honestly, I could talk a lot about this topic, but another thing is like, another thing about making early like kind of mediocre speculative picks like the plasma vault, for example, is that it makes it harder to to like speculate on like really strong cards in the future, right? Like because you took like if you didn't have the plasma bolt, I would be a little more into taking the night luminary, right? Like if instead of the plasma bolt you had, survey mechan or the void forge titan, I would actually maybe be down with taking the night luminary, right? Because like you have a little more room to speculate because you have a little more room, you have a few more like guaranteed playables, kind of.
Got it. Okay, next pick.
Yeah, I think the rest of this pack is pretty straightforward. Like Scanship is like obviously the best card in this pack. Oh, I guess like the second Night Luminary is kind of weird. I might have taken Ilvoy Lightjammer just because I really like the card.
Really?
But uh, I think most people probably will like the card a little less than me. But I think like once you have the first Night Luminary, okay, yeah, the second Night Luminary definitely gets more reasonable, and it is better. Like it is definitely the best card in this pack.
Okay.
But yeah, the rest of this pack is mostly straightforward. Yeah. Okay, so going into pack 2, I think now the one thing I wanted to talk about. So the main topic for pack 1 was like about speculating on things that aren't that strong being like pretty costly, right? Going into pack 2,
Vitus Beetle
sorry.
was really good. Or it's not.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I was summarizing. I was summarizing, like saying, like that's what we were talking about last pack.
Oh,
For this pack,
okay.
yeah. I'm not talking about Virus Beetle when I say that.
Okay.
For this pack, I kind of want to go in the opposite direction and talk about like the funny thing is, I think that there was in fact a way that you could have pivoted this draft into a different deck, like a different deck that wasn't black, that I think would have been stronger. So like I was anti speculation pack 1, but I'm pro speculation pack 2 because there's a card coming up that I think is like very strong. So first of all, it's not the possibility technician.
Oh,
because I think that honestly, I think that one of the strongest cards in this pack is Gigastorm Titan. So, okay, one thing that you need to note also coming into pack 2 is to figure out like what is actually your strongest color, right? Like where are you centered right now? And like because you took a lot of cards of like, not non-blue and black cards, like the 2 Night Luminaries and the Plasma Bolt, you're like a little all over the place. You're a little spread thinner. And this is something that, is a little dangerous going into pack 2 because with a direction that isn't that clear, that you need to figure out what you're doing at some point, right? And it might be like when you're spread this thin, it's just like harder to like resolve into a coherent direction, basically. But I will say that like if you look at your cards here, right, you have kind of one strong black card, right? You have one Elegy Acolyte. And like Perigi Beckoner is also a great card. But like I would say Perigi Beckoner and is like similar power level to like Night Luminary, kind of. Like they're both like good, solid commons, but not like more exciting than that. So like in black, you're kind of looking at mostly Elegy Acolyte. You also like didn't see very many black cards in pack 1.
Yeah.
In blue, however, you have 2 Cryogen Relics, like mythic common of the set, and a Uthra Scanship. You have a lot of card draw. So honestly, I personally am looking at your pile going into pack 2 and thinking that I would prefer to be blue first and foremost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, even though like your strongest card, like your strongest individual card is black, the fact that you have 3 strong blue card draw spells makes me like a little more attached to blue, honestly, than black. Like mostly because like it's pretty easy. Like imagine you end up in, like imagine white is super open this pack, right? Like you get past white bomb into white bomb. Okay, so you end up in either blue white or white black, right? Just say for the sake of argument. it's a lot easier to end up in blue-white because you only have to throw away 2 cards, right? Whereas if you end up in in white-black, you have to throw away like 4 different playable cards. And like you just will have less playables, fewer playables, and like, you know, uh, less room to maneuver. Does that make sense? Oh, sorry.
I'll need you to repeat that.
Sorry, I got a call that I don't think I need to pick up. But but yeah,
could you
basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that I think you are in this moment actually supposed to be more attached to blue than black, because while your strongest card is black, and that it is even like one of the strongest cards in the set, the fact that you have like 3 strong blue cards is actually like a lot more of a draw than the 1 really strong black card, especially since like you're in a nebulous space where like no matter what you pick, no matter what you end up in, you'll have to throw away some picks because you're spread out across 4 different nodes.
1 second. So you said I should have. I'm not sure if I misunderstood you. Did you say I should be in blue because I have more drawing, or I should be more drawn towards blue?
Oh, sorry. Okay, what I'm saying is that right now, if I were to predict which color you are more likely to end up in by the end of the draft, I think I would say you should be more likely to be blue than you are to be black.
Got
it. Because like it's just easier to like throw away the Elegy Acolyte and the Perigee Beckoner than it is to throw away the 5 blue cards, 3 of which are like really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of this is to say, this also lines up with the pack where Virus Beetle is a great card. Don't get me wrong, I really like Virus Beetle, but I think Giga Storm Titan is a better card than Virus Beetle, like just in a vacuum, and also like it's pretty well enabled in your deck. Like the Cryogen Relics are pretty nice with it. And like so I think Giga Storm Titan is a better card than Virus Beetle, more powerful, and also I think that you're supposed to lean more into blue than black. So I want to take the Giga Storm Titan here. Is all I'm saying.
Got
it. And that I didn't necessarily for that pick. I didn't necessarily need to fully go into like the blue versus black stuff, but that's going to be very important for pack 2, pick 2. And I think this is something that you should really be thinking about at the start of every pack, right? You should really think you should really try and decide what do you think are your strongest draws currently? Like what are your strongest directions? Sorry, strongest where does it look like your deck is going, right? Where would you predict your deck is going? And you don't have to follow that, but you want to have some sort of guidance, right? You want to have some sort of idea of what you're trying to do.
What if I don't have an idea?
I would recommend trying to come up with one.
I guess okay, so let's say I just don't have an idea, because I sort of get paralysis analysis often. And do you have a flowchart of what you can use to sort of determine where your pack or the direction should be at? So for example, you said already it's easier to throw away 2 of the black cards and keep 5 of the really strong blue cards, right? Do you have any other tips like that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean,
or criteria.
It's basically entirely it's almost entirely just
vibes.
It's almost entirely just vibes is a good answer, but what I was going to say is it's almost entirely looking at where how powerful your cards in each color are and how many of them you have. right? Like here, the reason why I like blue more than black is because like while black has your most powerful card, blue has a lot of powerful cards that like I think add up to just a little bit more than like the single black card by itself, right? And you know, that like which one is better, that certainly is a vibe. Like I said, more art than science, right?
Yeah.
Like
Okay, so
I'm not gonna pretend that like I have some mathematical formula here that says
yeah.
that tells me why two Cryogen relics and a Uthros scanship is greater than an elegy acolyte.
Right.
But like, like the I think honestly one of the more important things is to like make some decision, even if you're wrong. Like you don't need to like be correct, right? Like again, like this is all a vibe.
Okay.
But you should. Well, okay, maybe decision is the wrong word, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're not making a decision and saying like, okay, I'm locking in, I'm definitely blue. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
But like it's very important to be thinking about this is the thing, right? Like the important part is like the part where you think about like what direction your deck is going in so that you like can draft like a coherent set of cards, right? Like you don't want to just be drafting the best card out of every pack because then like you're not going to build a coherent deck, right? Like if you literally drafted only the best card out of every pack, you would end up with a pile of like cards like equal numbers of cards of each color that you can't cast, right?
Yeah.
And also, often there's things to think about, like in pack 3, if you're lacking removal, you need to like prioritize removal higher, or if you're lacking 2-drops, you need to prioritize 2-drops higher. So like, the priorities of cards change throughout the draft. That's another thing. But also just like you having an idea of how you're trying to shape your deck is very important, I think. Like you want to draft a deck, you don't want to just draft individual cards.
Okay, I have a question now.
Yeah.
And I guess this is the more like art part of it, where like I have trouble drafting around non-creatures. So for example, I have a hard time leaning into blue because most of my good cards were not creature cards. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Like so is it like you're worried that you're not going to get enough creatures? Is that why?
Um, I'm not sure actually. It just feels like how to describe it. I feel like when it's like a creature. Oh, that's what it is. It's because usually creatures are sort of like forgetting about removal. Creatures are sort of like a static thing that stays on the board, and I can sort of build my deck around it. When it's non-creatures or things that don't stay on the field, then I don't feel like I can really build around it.
Okay, so well, okay, first of all, I think you shouldn't try too hard to like think about limited as like building around specific cards. Like very few limited decks truly want to be built around a specific card, right? Because like you're not gonna see like
Okay,
you're
to
not gonna see
clarify,
a third of your deck
sorry,
every game
to
usually,
clarify,
right?
I'm not trying to build necessarily towards like one card because then the rest of the deck won't really function, right? If you don't get that one card. But I feel like having a creature card gives me like stronger direction than the ones that aren't.
I think okay, I think this is I don't know why you have this feeling, but I think this is just like a fallacy, right? Like I just don't think this is true at all. Because like for example,
I don't
Cryogen
either.
Relic.
I just want to know like why I'm thinking this way and if you can like try to help me think of it differently.
Yeah, I mean, okay, think about it like this, right? Like if you look at like 17 land stats or whatever, like Cryogen Relic is the top performing common by a mile, right? And it's not a creature. And the reason is the top performing common by a mile is like it has nothing to do with like it's not that paying 4 mana to draw 2 and stun a creature is like amazing rate that we've never seen before, right? Like I mean, it is good rate, to be clear. Like if you just imagine uh a like uh a card that you couldn't sacrifice or interact with or use as an artifact in any way, that that's basically Cryogen Relic, but it's not an artifact. If you imagine that card, that would not perform nearly as well as Cryogen Relic is performing. um and the reason why Cryogen Relic is the top common is because it has a lot of synergies, right? It's because like there's a lot of things that you can do, like for example, you cast your Embrace Oblivion, sacrificing your Cryogen Relic, and now suddenly your Cryogen Relic was a 2 mana draw 2 because you didn't have to pay the extra 2 mana to crack it. That also like provided sack fodder to your removal spell, which is extremely strong, right? Or like if you're in the blue-red deck and you sacrifice Cryogen Relic to Slagdrill Scrapper, suddenly it's a 4 mana draw 3, right? Or like maybe you pick it up with Exosuit Savior, and that's also really like there's just a lot of really strong synergies with it, right? Like synergies don't just like it doesn't have to be a creature for there to be a lot of like synergies with a card, right? It doesn't even have to be a permanent, right? Like if you imagine, like I don't know how much you played like Final Fantasy, but in Final Fantasy there were a lot of cards that synergized like into the blue-red space with 4 mana value spells, right?
Yeah.
And those were good. Like those synergies were quite good.
Okay.
Like th- it doesn't have to be a creature. It doesn't have to be synergy in the form of like, oh, it sticks on the battlefield and it does something. It can just be like small 2-card interactions that put you like slightly up a card, and that's really good and limited, right? Like you don't need something to. I think maybe what you're getting stuck on is like you want maybe you're trying to think of things that like generate value every single turn as like synergy, right? Whereas like that's honestly, I mean, there are a lot of very strong cards like that. For example, Elegy Acolyte, but like there's also a lot of synergies in Limited that are just like one-shot synergies that like just put you up a card or like a half a card or something like that, and or like are really efficient, synergized to like produce an effect that's really mana efficient, right? And that's great. That's completely fine, right? Like that's very good and limited, right? Like limited is a lot about scrapping, uh, scrapping over like incidental card advantage a lot of the time, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah. So I talked a lot about how I think that we should be more blue than black, right? Okay, obviously now that you've taken Virus Beetle, that like leans us more back towards black. That is definitely true. But like, okay, let's imagine we took the Storm Titan.
Oh, I need to
pack
pee.
two
I'm so
black.
sorry. Actually, I need to go pee.
Hmm?
I need to pee. I'm sorry. I'll be
okay.
right back. I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no worries. Hello, chat. I don't know how to entertain chat. Ooh, I know how to entertain chat. Maybe any Silk Song enjoyers? I've been playing a lot of Silk Song.
have pretend.
Yeah, so as I was saying,
Now that I picked Virus Beetle.
yeah, so if you take Virus Beetle, I think like the Grav Pack Monoist pick here is pretty reasonable. And honestly, I think overall the Grav Pack Monoist pick here is pretty reasonable. Like I don't think it's wrong by any stretch. I just want to suggest an alternative pick that you could have made here if you had taken the Gigastorm Titan, or like even still not having taken the Gigastorm Titan. No, this is where I want to talk about speculation and what card is worth speculating. That card being Biomechan Engineer. I think that Biomechan Engineer is a really the blue-green card.
Oh, okay.
Biomechan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that you say Biomechan. I love it when people say that. It's Biomechan, but you know, Biomechan is always the best whenever someone says it like that. I'm like, yes, that is the name. I know it's Biomechan. No, it's not. It's Biomechan.
Yeah, that is in fact the name. Like, so specifically because like I think that Biomechan is like just the strongest uncommon in the set, if you except for the fact that it's like two colors kind of. Like there's a little bit of gold tax, but like it's just a really strong card, and it plays really well with card draw as well, because you know it's a card that makes a lander, and is card draw itself that your opponent like feels pressure to like spend a removal spell on sometimes. So like if you were in like, you know, if you had the Gigastorm Titan, then you would be like in pretty heavy blue, and then like I would honestly be really willing to speculate on the Biomechan, because maybe you end up in blue green, right? And you like throw away the Elegy Acolyte. Maybe you end up in blue green and you splash the Elegy Acolyte as well. Like green is a color that can double splash an Elegy Acolyte. It's not like perfect, but it might happen, right? So like you're not even like fully, it's not even fully competing against the Elegy Acolyte and black cards, right? Or maybe you end up in blue black and you splash the Biomechan, right?
I
Like
have done that before.
Yeah, there's just a lot of ways that you can use it. Like it's a kind of speculation that like theoretically could fit into your blue black deck, theoretically could open up a blue green line. Like it does a lot of things, and it's a very powerful card. So I think it is worth the speculation here. Certainly if you have Gigastorm Titan, you can argue that if you have the Virus Beetle, like the it's like not, it gets like a less good of a speculation, because like the Virus Beetle cements you a little further into specifically black. But like I think that it's a card that you should definitely consider out of that pack, out of this pack to pick two.
If I had picked this Gigastorm Titan, or whether or not I picked it.
I would say whether or not you pick the Gigastorm Titan, you should definitely consider the Biomechan.
Okay.
I think like picking the Gigastorm Titan makes it much more appealing to take the Biomechan. Like if you pick the Gigastorm Titan, I think like it would be incorrect to take a card other than Biomechan out of this pack. Yeah, like having picked the Virus Beetle, like now that we're in this situation, I think it's close between the Monoist and the Engineer. I honestly like don't fault either pick. Which is, you know, maybe a little bit of a cop-out answer, but draft is hard. It's hard to have exact like it's hard to say anything is objectively correct. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, basically. Yeah.
So in one sentence, as best as you can, what is the reason again that you would spec on this?
So
One
it
sentence.
is the reason why I want to speculate on Biomechan is that it is okay. There are the two reasons I want to speculate on Biomechan are that A, it is an extremely powerful card and therefore like worth speculating on, and B, it has many ways of potentially ending up in our deck that don't necessarily throw away our other cards, right? Like
Okay,
Yeah, like
so
that don't necessarily compete with our other cards, right?
okay. Without
Like you can fit it into the puzzle that is our like that is us building a deck, us building this deck, right?
okay.
Whereas like you can't fit like Night Luminary as well into this like blue black puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then I know you said it's not a perfect math, but when it's a card that's at least like maybe one color in common with like where my deck is trying to go, it would be worth specking on if one, it was an extremely powerful card, and two, it can get splashed without competing with my other cards.
Well, it's not about it like sharing one color, right? Like, it's more about it being splashable, right? Like, if Biome Chan cost 1 and a green instead of blue green,
Got it.
that would make it better here, not worse, right?
No, you're right, actually. Oh wow, why didn't I
Yeah,
think of that
yeah,
before?
yeah. I mean, it makes sense that like you would
Duh.
look at like, oh yeah, it makes sense to spec on because you know blue matches blue, right? But no, the main thing is that like cards that you could theoretically splash are much safer like much safer cards to speculate on because they might make your deck anyways, especially when you have something that already helps you splash. In this case, you have the 3/1 that makes a lander. Also, you have card draw, which helps a little bit.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah.
Any thoughts on this?
Um, no, okay. So like the next few picks are like pretty straightforward with the path you've taken. Like I think Embrace Oblivion is great here, but like I do want to kind of point out the alternate path of I do think that Embrace is better than Cryo Shatter here because you have the 2 relics, by the way.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, I do want to point out like the path that you could have taken if you took Biome Chan. Like if you took Biome Chan the previous pick, you could take Command Bridge here or Cryo Shatter, depending on how like risky you want to play it with the splash. And the next pick, uh, like, uh, yeah, basically, I think that the next few picks are like pretty straightforward with this path. And also, I wanted to highlight that the Biome Chan path, in fact, would actually work out quite well. Like, and that like it's a kind of speculation that like would have easily worked out.
Mm-hmm. Jason,
Hmm?
Embrace Oblivion. Do
Yeah.
you say Oblivion or do you say Oblivion?
Embrace Oblivion.
How do you pronounce it? Is it O
I say
B and then Livian,
Oblivion.
or is it Oblivion?
I say Oblivion.
Okay, so it's like O and then Oblivion.
I
Oh.
say Embrace Oblivion.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe how I pronounce this word.
Because it's like the same thing as like Biome Chan. Would be like Biomechan, but with the word Oblivion, would you say O and then Oblivion, or is it Oblivion?
Oh, I see. I see what you're asking.
Yeah.
I think it's Embrace.
Oh my god, okay. I couldn't get anything out of you for that one. God damn it.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So like, okay. These picks are pretty straightforward. I just wanted to highlight like you would have gotten a late Gene Pollinator here. Like the speculating on Biome Chan line would have gotten like 2 late Gene Pollinators, which
Yeah.
basically you could have just ended up in blue green.
Yeah.
And like that would have been definitely a stronger deck.
Yeah,
like
see,
here
here's the second one.
Pollinator,
I was
right?
pretty sad about it towards the end of it. I was like, God damn it! Oh
Yeah.
hey, so you good?
Oh wow, you got the Titan back.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I didn't quite parse that you got that one back. Yeah. Oh, can you go back 3 picks? I'm surprised you didn't take Swarm Color. The card like is playable.
Oh right. I'm not necessarily sure why I did that. It could have been just that I went to the bathroom or something.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Yeah. So each of these packs have had themes. The first pack was about like not speculating on mediocre cards. The second pack was about figuring out what your direction is and speculating, like an example of speculating on the strong card. This pack I want to focus on like how to round out your deck a bit better.
Okay.
Like I think one of the problems that this deck ended up with, like just looking at how it ended up in the end, was that like it kind of was lacking in like, for lack of a better word, lacking in good cards.
Yeah.
Like it was just playing a bunch of mediocre cards, and you had a lot of card draw, so you could cast a lot of them, but they were still kind of mediocre, right? Like and
Yeah.
I think this pack 3 pick 1 is a great example of this, right? Where you're taking Beamsaw Prospector, which like is a fine card. It's a 2-drop. It like theoretically works with the sacrifice stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not very powerful, right? Like it's a little bit below rate, and like you kind of have to work to make it do anything, and also you're not even splashing in this deck, right? Like right now this deck isn't even splashing. I'd much rather take a card like Pinnacle Killship, because like I think what your deck right now has a bit of a like problem with the cards being a little too low impact, right? Like you have card draw, you have some removal, but like you don't have very many high impact ways to affect the board other than your removal, right? Like the Parity Beckoners are nice, but like just taking this Beamsaw Prospector, like just playing 1/1 flyers and 2/1s is not gonna like do very well for impacting the board, and Pinnacle Killship is a really good way to solve that, right? Like, and pack 3 is a good time to think about what your deck is missing, and this deck is like missing a bit of oomph. I don't know how better to put it than like it's just missing a bit of oomph. You want something that like does a lot,
Would it be called top end or no?
Yeah, the top end is top end is one way to put it, definitely. You have the thing is you kind of have some amount of top end just with like having a bunch of card draw, but like I guess one way to put it is there are many ways to win a game of Magic. One way you can do that is by being aggressive. Like in limited, sometimes you can like build a deck that's very aggressive, but your deck doesn't do that, because your deck, you don't have very many 2-drops, and you also don't have very aggressive 2-drops, right? Like Virus Beetle is not a very aggressive 2-drop. 2-mana 2/1 is not a very aggressive 2-drop, etc. Right? Like you're not very good at attacking your opponent. What you are good at is drawing cards, right? So theoretically, what you maybe want to do is like try to win in the late game. And you already have pretty decent tools for surviving the early game. Like you have a bunch of like random 2-drops that can trade off. You don't need more of that. What you need is something that will like actually help you like turn the corner and win the late game. So that's why I want Killship.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, got it. I was just typing it down. Sorry.
Yeah.
The next one?
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Okay.
Next pick. This is another one where, like, this is another one where like I think again you're taking the like nice cheap efficient like cheap card that like helps stabilize you, right? Like Psionicist is a good card, don't get me wrong, but like I really want to take Weft Walking here, right? Like Weft Walking.
I know, and then I was like, but I feel like I have not enough creatures, is how I was feeling.
Like, okay, here's a secret.
It was sad.
Here's a secret.
Okay, secret.
Creature count doesn't really matter. So okay.
But I'm a big dummy bonk bonk.
So like a lot of people when a lot of the times when you hear people give like advice to like completely new limited players, right? Like literally their first draft, right? Like like if you go to enough, you hear people say like, okay, play 17 lands, 23 spells. Try to be a 2-color deck. Here's the like box insert that tells you what all the archetypes are, and then they say you should try to have like 12 to 15 creatures, and like the other advice is pretty good, right? Like 17 lands is a good number of lands. But 12 to 15 creatures is kind of hot nonsense, in my opinion. Like, you don't need that many. you don't. You don't need that many creatures to win a game of limited. Like, the thing that makes you need creatures is if you have cards that care about having creatures, right? Like things like combat tricks and equipment, right? Like if you or like to some extent spacecraft as well, right? Those spacecraft are a little weird because like good spacecraft can survive on like a lower creature count because they have good ETBs. And okay, either way, you only have one spacecraft here, right? But like you just don't need to have that many creatures if you don't have things in your deck, that many things in your deck that care about having that many creatures, right? You would argue that like Harry Beckner cares about having creatures in play, but like I don't think Psionicist helps with that because like targeting Psionicist with Beckner is not that strong when you're not very aggressive, right? Like usually the thing you do with Beckner is target like a 2-drop that you want to sacrifice for some reason, right? So like Psionicist doesn't help with that, right? Like the reason why you want more creatures is to if you have things that care about creatures and you don't have those things. You already have enough creatures to kill your opponent. It'll be fine.
Oh. How would I know when I have enough creatures?
Like, I mean, it depends a lot on the deck, right? Okay. Some decks can win. Like, I've had decks that, for example, play very few creatures and like play like I've had the deck with very few creatures and like one copy of You Social Engineering and one copy of Glacier Godmaw. So engineering being the enchantment that makes 2/2s and Godmaw being the 6/6 that the 7-mana 6/6 that like give the mini creator hoofs things, and like just a bunch of card draw and removal, right? Like just controlled, like very, very controlling deck with like a Wrath as well. That just like I don't know. Eventually, I will put You Social Engineering into play. I will make like 2 or 3 2/2s, and then I will cast my Godma and swing with a 7/7 and a bunch of 3/3s, and that will kill my opponent. And like I honestly do not think that deck needed very many creatures. Like I still played a decent number of creatures because like, I wanted to like block and trade off in combat. But like I was probably playing like 9 creatures or something like that.
Okay. So maybe next time I do a coaching session with you, we can go over that because I'm just not good at control. Like it's not it's not my play style. Like it just is not. I don't like it.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. You just cast card draw spells and you cast removal spells and you cast like cheap creatures that trade with your opponent's creature as well. And it's fine.
Yeah, I know. It's a very personal thing, but and because it's personal, I guess I'm sort of like asking next time for you to like tell me how you see it and what and how you think of it, so that I maybe like understand it in a different way, so that I don't dislike it as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I definitely have like some specific thoughts about control in like various formats. The thing is that also like very much differs from format to format what like controlling decks look like. Yeah. All that said, right? Like another thing is like okay, like if you're worried about like creature count for like the purpose of like killing your opponent, left walking shuffles shuffles your graveyard into your library.
But what if I die before I can cast it because I don't have enough creatures?
Well, okay, so that's a different issue, right? So I think the good advice when people like the advice that people actually want to say when they say that you should have good number of creatures, and then said you should have a bunch of ways to affect the board, right?
Oh.
You don't want to you would like that. The thing is that doesn't have to be in the form of creatures. That can also be in the form of removal, right? And then that's in this case, like you have Embrace Oblivion, right? You have good removal, and you have like your creature count also just isn't that low here, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like I count like 13 creatures you're already happy to play. Like you definitely have enough creatures. Like even by the 12 to 15 creatures metric, you know.
Okay, so things that affect the board would be like removal and what else?
So removal and creatures, right? Like you don't want to play, 7 card draw spells is basically what this is saying,
Got
right?
it.
Or like you need enough cards that will play to the board in some way, whether that be like casting a creature or casting something that removes your opponent's creatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that actually matters when people are talking about creature count, right? Like the important thing is that you are able to affect the board so you don't fall behind.
Okay. Okay, got it. Next pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's another example of a pick where at this point I'm not even calling it speculation. I think you should just take the Imago and splash it. Like it's not even a speculative pick. Like it is just like a much more powerful pick, a much more powerful card, and like you have 3 sources of landers, and the Beamslaw Prospectors do count in this deck because you have a decent number of ways to sacrifice them.
Okay, so even if I feel like my deck does better with like void things, and I should still pick this because it's more powerful.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay. So the thing is, Umbral Color Zealot is a fine card, but it's a much better aggressive card, and your deck's not that aggressive.
Oh,
and
it is? I thought it was better. It was just good for like triggering void for almost
Well,
free, essentially.
no, the biggest thing is that is a 2-mana 3/2. Also, like aggressive, like void synergies work better in aggressive decks, anyways,
Really?
right? Because yeah,
What?
because if you're aggressive, you will like pressure your opponent. Like if you're aggressive, when you attack, your opponent probably wants to block and trade off, and that triggers void, right?
Okay. Cool.
Um,
I didn't know
that's
that.
like
That makes so much sense, though.
yeah.
Ah!
It's why void is like centered in black red, and black red is a fairly aggressive color pair here. That said, also your deck has 1 card that's okay. I guess 2 cards, but I don't want to play decode transmissions. You have like 1 card that says the word void on it right now. Elegy Acolyte, right? Like you're not really a void deck. Like yeah, okay, sacrificing your cryogen relics to your Umbral Color Zealot is like kind of decent, but I think all of that is like still less impactful than just splashing Gene Morph Imago. That card is just really strong, and you can do it off of like 1 forest because you like have 3 landers and some card draw.
Okay.
Yeah, like just these 3 picks in a row have all been picks where you have like repeatedly taken a less like not the most powerful card in the pack, and one or yeah, both not the most powerful card in the pack, and also just like a card that like does a bunch of like small ball stuff that your deck is already decent at enough at doing, and doesn't cover the weaknesses of the deck in that like it doesn't your deck like can struggle to make impactful plays in the late game, right? And like all of Killship, Weft Walking, and Imago would help a lot with that.
Okay, so you said the deck has all the like good basic cheap cards, but what am I missing again?
So the point I'm trying to make here is that like the last 3 picks, right? You took Beamsaw Prospector, you threw Psionicist, and now this Umbral Caller Zealot, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all like cheap, somewhat small ball stuff, right? Like they're like cards that. Let me put it this way: when you're in the late game and you top deck one of these cards, it doesn't feel that good, right? Like, like a 2 mana 3/2 on turn 7 is like not very good, right? And you have a lot of cards in your deck that are like that right now, right? Like you have like the Beam Spot Protectors, like the Uther Silences is just a 2/4 when you top deck it. Like you have a bunch of stuff that is good in the early game, but like mediocre in the late game. And granted, you have card draw, which will definitely help you in the late game.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's nice to have something that will like help stabilize you more, help like not lose to someone who's like just going over the top of you, right? Like you're kind of right now casting card draw spells and like 3/2s, which is fine, or like card draw spells and medium-sized bodies, which is fine, but it's nothing special, and you're like liable to just lose to people that are doing better things than you, which happened.
Deck is liable to other people doing better things. Okay, next pick.
Yeah, I mean, this pick obviously like offer all best card in the pack.
That was just a rare draft.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I do think Cloud's Cult Technician is a playable card, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, it's a 2/4 flyer. It's fine. It's not
It's
amazing, but
sometimes a
like
2/4.
yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly often a 2/4. Okay, maybe it's not that often in your deck. It is a fine card.
Okay.
It's very 23rd card, but it is a fine 23rd card.
Oh, so is it like a filler card?
Yeah, it's filler.
Okay,
It's filler.
okay. And then this one.
Yeah. Killship is nice here, and yeah. The rest of this pack.
I have a question actually. How do you feel about counters in this set?
I mean, I think that Unravel is a fairly mediocre card because I don't like cancel that much, and it doesn't draw a card very often. I think like, I mean, there's definitely spots where I'd sideboard in Unravel. I usually wouldn't start it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would Embrace of Living have been better?
If it were like any other removal spell, probably, but like the third Embrace Oblivion definitely starts like being awkward. So I agree with not taking it here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So honestly, like this is the kind of spot where I would probably take Wedgelight Rammer and splash it. Or that one, sorry, not Wedgelight Rammer. Not Auxiliary. I don't know why I called that card Wedgelight Rammer. Auxiliary boosters and splash it.
Okay.
It was like, okay, yeah, it's the white flying 3/4.
Okay. Why would you splash it?
I just think you need more late game.
Oh,
like
okay.
when you're in this spot, like
oh, this is we're in a sad spot right now. We're desperate.
right, like,
Got it.
well, it's more that like you have a lot of like creatures that are middling, and it like helps convert those creatures into more real cards.
I see.
Like I think I would splash it, and like I haven't quite counted your playables, but I might like splash it plus the 2 Night Luminaries that you have.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
And that might be fine. I'm not completely. I would have to like look at the deck at the end of the draft, but yeah. And like okay, certainly I would take it with the for the ability to do that. You know, take the flying equipment for the ability to do that over a card that I don't think ever makes your deck. The mental modulation, right?
Uh-huh.
But it like just for the chance of doing that kind of splashing.
Okay. And I guess that's it. Let's look at the deck. I don't know what I changed it to afterwards. Like, I don't remember what the difference was between the two. Oh,
Yeah, like
I felt like I needed more
so
creatures.
how I put it is that like this deck is largely a pile, like it has a lot of low impact creatures, right? Like
Yeah.
the two Beamsaw Prospectors, the two Umbral Caller Zealots are like fine, but you're not aggressive enough to like leverage them that well. I- it just has like a couple too many of those cards, and like if you had a second kill ship, that would make this deck a lot better. If you had a left walking, that would make this deck a lot better, right? There's a lot of things that could there's a lot of small things that could have improved this deck basically,
Okay.
and like I think like all of the things that we talked about are like pretty impactful to that, right? Because like if you think about it, right, like if you had like you know, throwing away like a couple picks in pack one might have been the difference between like imagine if you had like the Void Forge Titan instead of the Plasma Bolt, right? Then that would be like another nice, like large, impactful thing that you could play in this deck, and like that, and one fewer like mediocre card, like maybe you wouldn't have to play Mental Modulation, right? Like, so the picks and like the wasted picks on like mediocre speculations did end up mattering. And you know, if you had speculated on green or like taken in pack 2 or even in pack 3 and like or taken more impactful cards in pack 3, that will also maybe would have let you like play have like a deck with like more impactful cards, which would I think have done better. That's all that is to say. I don't think this deck looks terrible. I looked at some of your gameplay, and there were definitely some spots that you like made some gameplay mistakes that hurt you as well.
Show me. Do you remember?
Yeah, we game 3 mostly you lost to Godmod. That one is like a little harder to a little harder to have done anything about, I guess. But like games 1 and 2 are somewhat interesting.
Okay.
If you want to quickly step through.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm old. Oh yeah, the first thing is mulliganing this hand. I don't know why you mulligan this hand.
It made me nervous that I didn't have a turn 2. And then my turn 3 was shitty.
Well, so the thing is, this hand has your best card in it, the LG Acolyte, and you're not guaranteed to be able to cast on turn 4. But like, yeah, the 3-mana 2/2 menace isn't that great, but it's also kind of nice with LG Acolyte if you do get to curve it in like one into another like that. And like when you're on the play and you have a play on turn 3, I think that's generally good enough that you don't need to mulligan. Like mulliganing costs a lot in limited. Like, yeah, not having a turn 2 play is worse than having a turn 2 play. But generally you should not be mulliganing for that in limited. If you're on the draw and can't play anything until turn 4, that is usually a problem. But like, you know, just being on the play and not being able to play anything until turn 3, that's completely fine.
Okay. And then
Yeah, this just ends
this.
up a worse hand.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and like honestly, the biggest thing in this game was that mulligan decision.
Anything else that I should skip to?
I think there was another thing. If okay, like I agree with chumping here and cracking the land, so that you can crack the lander, of course. I forget if there was something else. Um. Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. On this previous turn, instead of casting relic, I would have just cast Alpha Rail. Because like
this guy, I mean this one.
Yeah, like Alpha Rail digs 2 cards instead of 1 card. And like I don't hate getting rid of this Gale Blade anyways. Like
Well, it has to be. Oh, okay.
It's like much more mana efficient to cast Alpha Rail, basically.
Okay. Because I guess I was being a little bit greedy on it, like with it, because I was like, I have to discard 2 cards. If I don't discard an artifact, and I didn't want to discard my relic.
You can't be that greedy with Alpha Rail. Like,
okay.
those artifacts in your deck are strong. So like,
okay.
Yeah.
So I can't really be greedy with them. Got
You're really blue. You're also like really locked on blue, as Chat is pointing out.
Yeah.
And like Alpha Rail helps you resolve that better.
That's exactly what it did, didn't it? Or am I wrong? No, I'm
wrong. Also, wait. Can you pause on the discard decision for Alpha Rail again? Yeah, I think that
So what did he discard?
I think that I would just discard Gale Blade and 3/2 and keep the 4/4 and the 7/7. Like I understand that the keeping Gale Blade and the 7 and the kill ship lets you like guaranteed cast kill ship next turn. I don't think you like need to rush at that. And like basically if you discard the 1/1 and the 3/2, then next turn either you draw a land, in which case you can cast kill ship anyways, or you draw a non-land, in which case you can double spell with Gigastorm Titan.
Okay, and if I didn't get one of those things, would it have been okay to just hard cast this for full retail price?
Well, notably, it's pretty hard to draw a card that is neither a land nor a non-land.
Well,
I
mean like a card that's like more expensive than would allow me to cast this. Like for example, something that was another 5-drop or something like that. It's just an example.
Even if you drew a 5-drop, you could still cast the Titan because of your Psionicist.
Oh shit! You're right. Okay, cool. If I just paid attention to my board.
Yeah, I mean, like, also it would just be fine to just cast a 4/4. Like, overall, you're losing this game somewhat on like, keeping a bunch of low impact cards, right?
Okay, got it. And that's really what it was.
And the last thing here is, when they attack with their 2/1, I do not think you're supposed to block.
Oh.
Because like it's a really, really telegraphed they have a wrath, right? Like.
Oh. And then they did have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of called it after I blocked, and literally as I called it, they casted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. From here, I don't think. I don't think there's anything else here. Oh. Never mind. There was one big mistake. Your opponent targeted your kill ship with their Faller's Faithful. I go back a turn. Maybe another turn. Like when they cast Faller's Faithful. Yeah. And this is drawing you 2 cards. You should not sack it to the 3/2.
Oh my god! That's such. Oh gosh, you're right. Hold on, let me note that down. This moment of shame.
Yeah, this is what I mean when like they say there were a bunch of places that I thought gameplay mistakes like contributed decently to your loss.
Okay. And that was the last thing for this game.
Yeah. From here, the game is pretty unwinnable.
Perfect. Okay. Well, unless there's something more notable from the second game, I think we could end the session here.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in we end it here, or yeah, you
Oh,
want?
yeah.
Okay.
I think ending it.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you very
Hopefully
much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um,
Always happy to help.
and I'll try to schedule with you again soonish before this set ends, so hopefully I can show you that I am applying your coaching.
So I won't have time anytime soon
Uh-huh.
in like the next 2 or 3-ish weeks because of the PT.
Oh, yeah, duh. Okay.
After the PT, so like starting October, I will be free again. But
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
that,
Alright.
that's the next time I'm free.
Okay. Well, have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.